Hi, I'm Greg Whitney, Lead Flight Activities Officer of the Final Shuttle mission, and you're watching NASA TV.
If you believed they put a man on the moon, man on the moon. If you believed there's nothing up my sleeve, then nothing is cool. Good morning, Atlantis. This is Michael Stipe from REM. We wish you much success on your mission and thank all the women and men at NASA who have worked on Shuttle for 3 decades. From Earth, a very good morning to you.
Good morning, Houston, and all we can say up here is wow. I'd like to thank Mr. Michael Stipe for sending up that wonderful message and that great song. I know a lot of us up here have been listening to REM for a long, long time, and just some of the greatest music. Also reminds us about the moon landing next week, anniversary, and we also echo his sentiments just to thank all the great people who worked on this wonderful space shuttle. We're ready for another day in space and ready to get to work.
And Atlantis, thank you very much. I agree with you. That was great music, and we also are ready for another great day working with you.
Atlantis ISS, this is Eben Brown from Fox News Radio. How do you hear me?
Good morning, Evan. We have you loud and clear from the International Space Station.
Oh, good morning, Dr. Magnus, Commander Ferguson. Thank you for speaking with me this morning. Firstly, how's the mission going?
Well, this is one of the first days we've been able to take a deep breath and appreciate what we're doing up here. We've been really busy for the first 5-6 days or so, but I'd like to think it's going really well. The vehicle's really healthy. Atlantis is doing just wonderfully. It's great to see our space station friends up here, and we've got our big cargo module about 3/4 or so all transferred. So it's going great.
Both of you could tell me some about the mission special tasks and some of the things that you're doing specifically. We know you made a rather large delivery to the ISS. How's that going, and what's going to be left at the station when you guys depart?
Well, we are making a rather large delivery, and a lot of our time is being spent moving things onto the station and bringing things back into our cargo carrier. We're leaving behind about a year's supply of food and consumables, as well as about 1,000 pounds of science equipment and some spare parts. We're taking back with us some trash and some pieces of hardware that need to be refurbished on the ground, and some other consumables that need to go home. So it's keeping us pretty busy, but the station will be in good supply once we leave.
Well, the two of you have had a great vantage point because you've been obviously involved in flying the shuttle and building the space station. What is that like when you sit down and you think about it and you go, wow, I get to do this kind of stuff? And what do you tell your family? What do you tell your friends about it? I mean, this is an amazing adventure that not many people get to do, and you two are pretty lucky.
We are indeed very fortunate to have had the experiences that we've had. And I remember a moment when I was up here on Expedition 18, I was just going about my normal routine, and in the course of one day, I talked to Moscow, I talked to Germany, I talked to Japan, and I talked to our two control centers in Houston and the one in Huntsville. And then I stopped for a second, and I did have one of those moments of realization. It's like, wow, look what we did. We built this huge, huge monster laboratory orbiting the Earth using with cooperation from countries all over the world, and here I am living on it. It was just one of those moments that you have that, like you're speaking about, that it just strikes you that, wow, this is really just incredible.
Commander Ferguson, same question.
Well, I'll tell you, when we rendezvous with the International Space Station, we can actually see it about 6 hours before we actually dock. And you see it as a speck on the horizon, but you know that you're closing rapidly. And as the afternoon of rendezvous progresses, the station gets progressively larger and larger. And then we end up in what we call the RPM, or the rotation pitch maneuver, and that's where we're poised about 600 feet below station. And I'll tell you, that is really, it's just an incredibly emotional moment for those who are fortunate enough to have been in that position and look up and see this tremendous space station that we've built in space. It really, it makes me both humbled and awestruck at what human beings, when they put their collective efforts together across a multinational effort, can build in space. This orbiting laboratory is absolutely tremendous, and just to see it from below, it really leaves you with, like I said, a feeling of awe.
Commander Ferguson, Dr. Magnus, I believe our window is closing. Thank you so much for spending a few moments with us, and have fun up there, soak it all in, and we'll see you back on the ground in Florida.
Very good. We'll see you then, and hello to everyone in the area that's listening. We wish you could be here to share this experience with us.
Atlantis ISS, this is Houston ACR. That concludes the Fox News Radio portion of the event. Please stand by for a voice check from KTVI-TV.
Atlantis ISS, this is KTVI-TV. Do you hear me?
We have you loud and clear. Good morning.
Good morning to both of you. Talking, of course, with Sandy Magnus there and Commander Chris Ferguson. And Sandy, we have to start with you. I mean, what has this final mission been like for you?
Well, I guess in one word, it's been very busy. We've been really working hard to get everything done since we are a crew of 4. But on the other hand, I'm just thrilled to be back here on the International Space Station, and it feels like home.
You're having a good hair day, Sandy.
I did this just for you guys in the St. Louis area because everybody enjoyed it so much during Expedition 18.
And we're going to float the mic over to Chris. Chris, any issues in space so far? I mean, what are the plans for the rest of the week before you guys return?
Well, first thing, let me tell you that Atlantis is absolutely wonderful. It's been a flawless mission so far, and it's a 25-year-old spacecraft, but it still performs like it's right out of the barn. We've had a wonderful mission so far. We've of course brought up about 10,000 pounds of food and supply, enough hopefully to sustain the station for about a year to come. We have another couple days docked, and then it's the long road back to the Kennedy Space Center in Florida.
Tell us about this virtual meal today. I know, Sandy, you had some planning in all of this. This is going to be great for people to participate in.
Oh, definitely. We try and, NASA tries very hard to find ways for people to participate in this space experience. And of course, when we come back to our hometown areas like I have in St. Louis, we try and share their experience as much as possible because it is such a unique experience up here.
All right, before we go, I got to see, I've always wanted to ask you guys to do this. If you just set the microphone down. Sandy, Chris, could you guys turn a flip for us in zero gravity? All right.
Look at Chris.
I love it.
There you go. I like the socks. Very nice.
Awesome.
Very nice. Chris, you're cracking us up.
Now, see, that's the kind of space experience I want.
That's what we're going to miss right there, along with all the other great work these shuttle missions have done over the past 30 years. Thank you both for being with us this morning. We certainly appreciate it.
Thanks, you guys.
Bye. We'll see you back here in St. Louis.
Okay, every kid.
It's great talking with you guys.
Atlantis ISS, this is KSTK-TV. How do you hear me?
And we have you loud and clear on the International Space Station.
Sandy, let's get some personal business out of the way. Is there anybody you want to give a shout out to in Belleville?
Yeah, I just want to say hello to everybody in the area, my family and my friends. It's a really nice time up here. I wish it could be here.
A lot of conversation about this being the final shuttle flight. I'm wondering, is it bittersweet at all? Pessimists say the U.S. is in danger of losing its leadership in space. Optimists say retiring the shuttle program opens up new opportunities. Tell our viewers why they should care about the future of the U.S. in space.
Well, first of all, let me address your first question about retiring the space shuttle. You know, space program is it's a wonderful thing that we have in the United States. We are committed to it. We have the resources to do it, and I think it's just fantastic. Plus, it gives tremendous opportunity for young men and women to enter fields in science and math. You know, we're not completely giving up on the space program. Of course, we still have this International Space Station. We're going to have American astronauts on it for years and years to come. Retiring the space shuttle does give us, however, some resources so we can make the next step to leave low Earth orbit and perhaps go back to the moon or maybe even to Mars.
How does being in space affect the aging process for astronauts? Because you two look a lot younger than your years.
Well, I don't know how it affects the aging process, but you certainly do feel good up here. It's amazing, really. I think one of the things I found about spaceflight was coming back to Earth and feeling what gravity is like and how much it's just pulling you down to the planet and weighing you down. And, of course, up here we're in free fall. We're floating around in zero-G, and it's a lot of fun and probably makes us look a little better, too.
Well, talk a little bit about the life of an astronaut on the space shuttle. One day you're spacewalking, the next day you're hauling trash or fixing a toilet. You've got a variety of tasks on this mission.
Absolutely, not the least of which is to transfer about 10,000 pounds of food and supply over to the space station. Let me comment just a little bit on Sandy. Of course, she was here for about 4.5 months as a part of Expedition 18. And one of the first things I noticed, one of the first nights that we kind of all set up our sleeping bags and went to sleep, was the other 3 crew members. They were a little restless. They tossed, they turned, they had a hard time, including myself. I looked over at Sandy. She was sleeping soundly, all nestled in her sleeping bag like she had never left. She's so incredibly comfortable up here, and it's great to have her here and great to have her part of this crew.
Well, we are so sorry we're out of time, but Chris Ferguson and Sandy Magnus, thank you so much for joining us, and keep up the good work.
We certainly shall, and everyone, St. Louis, thanks for your support, and keep tuned into NASA. We're going to be doing great things.
Aboard the shuttle station complex, you're looking down at the middeck of Atlantis as pilot Doug Hurley works through a set of procedures to stow items in the airlock and in other areas of the middeck, all part of the back and forth transfer of cargo from the Rafaello multipurpose logistics module to the International Space Station, and the transfer of items from not only the station back into Rafaello, but also from Atlantis' middeck. Once again, peering into the Rafaello multipurpose logistics module, where various crew members are working in the continuing transfer of cargo. The crew at the beginning of the day today was 50% complete with its transfers, now heading towards the three-quarter mark in the transfer of some 4.5 tons of equipment from Rafaello into the International Space Station to ensure that it is fully stocked for the next year. A variety of crew members gathering down in the middeck of Atlantis to prepare a variety of cuisine that constitutes the All-American meal that you've been hearing about. This All-American meal, again, was conceived in honor of this final shuttle mission of Atlantis and prepared by the Food Lab folks here at the Johnson Space Center. The crew's All-American menu beginning with crackers, brie cheese, and sausage. The main course featuring grilled chicken, southwestern corn, and baked beans, and the pièce de résistance will be apple pie for dessert. The station crew will also have barbecued brisket as its entree. So this is an opportunity for the crew to take a break in what has been a very busy schedule, punctuated primarily by cargo transfer activities, before they have an opportunity to share each other's company for off-duty time for the second half of their day today.
WBBM-TV, this is Mission Control Houston. Please call Atlantis ISS for a voice check.
Hello, check. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear. How do you hear the space station?
I can hear you perfectly. Wow, that's amazing. It's so good to see all of you. I want to thank you for talking to us. And I want to start by asking a question to Sandra, if possible, because we know she's from downstate Illinois. Sandra, how meaningful is it for you to be a part of this last launch?
Well, you know, we were so focused on the launch, the training during most of our preparation time, I hadn't really thought about it, but I will tell you it's an honor to be a part of any shuttle crew, and this one is really special because it is the last one. And we're just very busy up here, and I think it's going to hit us a little bit harder once we land there at the Cape and have to say goodbye to Atlantis for the last time.
So what happens personally for you and your careers? What is your next operations involved without being able to go up in space?
Well, it's not exactly correct. I mean, we have opportunities following this. We're going to continue to crew the International Space Station for the next decade at least. So we've got opportunities there to fly in space, and then we've got some great opportunities on the ground as well, supporting development of our next vehicle, which is going to go beyond low Earth orbit. And then we also have, a chance to contribute with the commercial companies as they come online to build vehicles that are going to come to the International Space Station. So there's going to be plenty for us to do.
What is your advice for young people who are interested in moving into your profession, and also just people in general who are interested in the space program? With all the changes going on right now, what do you advise them?
Well, certainly keep tuned in because a lot of exciting things are going on. And for young people, you know, when we were all younger, we dreamed of being astronauts, and it seemed like a very remote chance or a remote idea. But if you work really hard, you persevere, and you follow your dreams, anything can happen. And here we are, testimony to that. So I would advise any young person, whether you're interested in being an astronaut or being involved in the space program or whatever your dream is, just give it a shot. Go for it. Believe in yourself. Work hard. You can do it.
I know Sandra mentioned before that you guys were very busy and didn't really have a lot of time to reflect, but is there anybody who's feeling particularly nostalgic or sentimental about this final journey?
Well, as you know, we are very busy and we're concentrating on a mission, but every once in a while when it just quiets down for a minute, I remember sitting on the mid-deck the other day and thinking, wow, this is the last time this vehicle is going to fly. Here we are in space. So just in fleeting moments between being really busy, you kind of think, wow, this is really it. But boy, it's going to hit when we land and wheels stop, and when all the pressure's off of the mission and all the busyness is done, we'll reflect back and we'll realize that the space shuttle has completed its mission, and it's not a time for sadness; it's a time for celebration. It's had a storied 30-year career, and we're very, very proud of it. And so, I plan on when we get back to the ground, celebrating with everybody who's worked so hard on this program to celebrate the great achievements over the last 30 years.
Well, thank you all so much for talking to us, and thank you for the wonderful work that you've been doing for us on behalf of the program.
Thank you very much. We'll see you.
Atlantis ISS, this is KTVU-TV. Can you hear us?
Yes, Space Station reads you loud and clear. How do you copy us?
Copy that.
We hear you. Good morning, gentlemen. Thank you, and ma'am, for joining us this morning. Tell us, okay, we've been talking about the barbecued chicken and the beans. What does it's called thermostabilized? Tell us about the food. How does it look? How does it taste?
Actually, the food's pretty good. Some of it is sort of in the form of meals ready to eat that the military has, where it's a pouch, you just heat it up and you eat it. The thermostabilized is in a dehydrated sort of form. As well, it comes in that form. You just add water, put it in the oven, and heat it up, and that's good to go as well. And of course, we have our special meal we're going to be sharing with the space station crew, and we'll be having a very nice time and reflecting. We originally wanted it on July 4th, but we'll have it instead at this time.
What would you say is the most significant contribution that the shuttle program has made?
Well, I can definitely offer you one. I think there were a number of great contributions the shuttle made, but we're here talking to you from one of the crowning achievements of the Space Shuttle program, and that's the International Space Station. The shuttle was integral in constructing, building, and putting all this together 210 miles above the surface of the Earth. So, we get to see this, this work of art every day for the next several days, and it'll be here for years to come. So, definitely the space station is probably one of the greatest achievements of the Space Shuttle.
Thank you so much. We are talking live to the astronauts there. Notice the Cal fan in the back. We appreciate that here in the Bay Area. Thank you very much for joining us.
And have a safe trip home.
Yes, please.
Thank you so very much. Have a great day.
Atlantis ISS, this is Houston ACR. That concludes the KTVU TV portion of the event. Please stand by for a voice check from WTXF TV.
Hi, welcome to Philadelphia.
Hey, it's great to be here, my hometown of Philly. How you doing?
Good, that's great. Commander, we're so happy and proud of you. Now, we may talk to the rest of the crew, too, but we're going to concentrate on Commander Ferguson here. But we'll get to everybody eventually. I'm trying to look at you and look at their hair sticking straight up. That's Specialist Magnus, Sandy Magnus. So, Chris Ferguson, when did you first get involved in space?
Oh, that's even better. That's awesome.
Philly's own Will Smith's kid. What's the name of her song? I whip my hair back and forth. I whip my hair back and forth. That's the first time we've seen somebody whip their hair back and forth from space. Anyway, Commander Ferguson, when did you first have the dream of going to space from living in Philadelphia?
Oh, I grew up in the Northeast there. I went to St. Martha's grade school, Archbishop Bryan High School, and I think it was somewhere in there. I had some real motivational teachers who got me interested in science and taught me a little bit about aviation. I thought, well, maybe I'd like to fly airplanes someday. One thing led to another. I always had a fascination with the early astronauts in the Apollo program, and lo and behold, you just you put your nose to the grindstone and you keep your dreams alive, and you end up in interesting places someday.
Hear, hear.
I'm telling you, I've done a lot of these interviews, well, a few of them from space. The technology now is amazing. The picture, guys, you look like you're in a studio, maybe in Omaha, Nebraska or something. The shot is so clear. Is this a hoax? Are you really in space still?
See the hair?
I don't know. We're going to have to do something for you.
Yeah.
I
want to do it. I know.
Oh, yeah, I can do that. Watch this. Can everybody float around for us? That was really cool, Chris. Look at her. Look at her.
I think Sandy's hair is pretty much a dead giveaway.
Wow. It is.
Oh, there you go. There's a pose for you right there.
That is so cool.
Well, which way is the space station? Are you standing? Are you upside down?
Actually, we're in the Japanese module right now. This is one of several modules. The space station is it's an incredibly large vehicle. It weighs over 1 million pounds right now. And, if you have one of the unique opportunities like we have to, be 1,000 feet below and look up at this tremendous vehicle, it's just awe-inspiring. It's hard to believe that mankind has built this, and we get to live in it for a couple weeks. It's great.
Every now and then you can see the space shuttle go over Philadelphia. What are you looking at right now? Like, for instance, right now, where are you floating?
We're actually, like I said, we're floating in the Japanese module, which is one of the wings that sits off the side of the space station. Of course, it's a series of tubes that stick together. But when you see the space station fly over, it's a very bright light. What you're usually seeing is the reflection off the large solar arrays that are about 300 feet long. So that's what you typically see.
Yeah. So where is the space station right now over the Earth?
Wow, that's a real good question. We actually have this real neat computer application that tells us where we are in the world, because sometimes just by looking out the window you can't tell. But right now we don't have it up, so honest to goodness, we can't tell you where we are over the Earth. But if we went to a window, we could find out.
Well, listen to this. I've been told you're over the Northeast Atlantic. You're just west of England.
Oh,
European pass.
Fantastic. Rex here is just an expert in geography, and all he has to go down to the cupola, which is kind of like a fishbowl, if you will, to allow us to look out the bottom of the space station. And Rex can usually pick out exactly where we are at any given moment.
That's kind of cool. Oh, say, did you take any tasty cakes up there? And if you did, which one do you like?
First thing we're going to do is maybe get Sandy to go back and open one of these windows behind us. We'll let you look out the window a little bit. Did I take any tasty cakes? Unfortunately, no. But believe me, I am a lifelong fan of tasty cakes.
Okay, now we have some video of you folks eating breakfast. What did you have for breakfast?
I'll tell you what, let me pass the microphone around a little bit. This is Doug Hurley, the pilot. Let's talk to him. He'll let you know.
Let's see. I had oatmeal with brown sugar this morning, and I think somebody else had eggs, and I don't remember what Rex had.
A sausage patty.
And a sausage patty. So, pretty good hearty breakfast. No, we don't. A lot of our meals are kind of, similar to military meals ready to eat. So they're in pouches or bags, and some of them you have to add water to. And we have a small oven in the shuttle where we can heat things up, both food, and we can get hot or cold water out of the dispenser right above it. So it's a pretty nice setup, and the food is really, really good.
Sandy, your face is turning red. Is that the blood running for rushing to your head? And what are you looking out behind? What's out the window?
A lot of water. Most of the time when you look out the window up here, there's just a lot of water, and occasionally you'll go over a continent. It only takes us 90 minutes to go around the world, and so we get a sunset and a sunrise about every 45 minutes. When you're over the Sahara, it's very, very dramatic. There's a lot of browns and oranges and tans and beiges. It's really beautiful. The Caribbean is really beautiful. But right now, we just see a lot of water out the window.
Yeah. As Bette Miller once said, from a distance. Oh, no, I won't sing. So I always wondered what you wear. But we've had some people tweet us this morning, want to know. By the way, congratulations, they say, to Commander Ferguson. We're all proud of you. Everybody who ever went to Archbishop Ryan high school. So that's one thing. I'm not going to ask this, but they always ask you, how do you go to the bathroom and stuff like that. You want to know?
Yes.
My co-anchor, Chanel Marie Jones,
Thanks.
wants to know, how do you go to the bathroom?
How do you?
You go in the suits?
Let's just say it involves airflow rather than gravity. I will just leave it at that.
No.
It relies on a gentle little breeze.
Thank you all very much. Well, we didn't talk to Rex. All right. Thank you all very much, and congratulations, especially to our commander, Chris Ferguson from
We're proud
Philly.
of you.
Hello to my family and friends in Philadelphia. Drexel University, Archbishop Ryan. Go Philly.
That's right.
Did you just hear that?
Yeah.
Can I tell you, I'm not even kidding. This makes me want to go back to school and do something with my life.
Atlantis ISS, this is Houston
Thanks so
ACR.
much, folks. Have a great day.
Thank you. That concludes the event.